I feel like Assassinate might be a win more secondary in this case, where if he can break through the meat wall and the sentinel wall and get to the characters, he was probably already going to be in the strong board state anyway. So if you break through them with enough time to mop up those characters, it might be a case of you already were going to win.
Yeah, yeah. There is a lot of that in this event where it's like,
Yeah.
I was pretty much already going to win.
So I don't know if I don't necessarily like win more secondaries because if I'm in a tight game, like say 28 to 26, I want something that I can squeak a few points out of. I don't want something that either is a 0 or a 15.
Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah.
You don't want those binary. It's either exists or it doesn't. It's either won you the
Yeah.
game or lost you the game.
I'm surprised that neither player took R&D.
Yeah, it does seem like one where you'd have a lot of opportunities. Like, I mean, Rattling's turn one can go and get you a bunch of R&D
Yeah.
points. Um,
And John could have outflanked something which would have forced
yeah,
Noah to try to screen some backfield. And Noah's got a lot of stuff, but if he has to pick an impulsor and sit it back there to screen, that's not sitting forward and blocking objectives, you know?
mm.
So I wonder if maybe that might have been a better choice instead of Hammer of the Emperor, because I don't think that's a great one for John.
Yeah. Is your stream frozen?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah, it is. It doesn't
yeah,
matter.
yeah. I mean,
Uh,
we've been
is
told that it is mildly upset machine spirits,
hmm
and they are currently lighting incense and chanting. But we're gonna hop on over to game 2 and see what's hopping over there between Fred's Crimson Fist and Hank's Eldar. Also, angry machine spirits here,
yeah.
it seems.
Soothing
Um,
balms and ointments are being
yeah.
applied as we speak, and many woosahs are happening to machine spirits. Yoga,
Well,
in fact.
Adam, you asked me earlier if I were to write a horrible list, what would it be? I'm going to ask you now, if you were to write a horrible list, what would
Beautiful.
it be?
Oh, I Mitch's guard list is very close to what I would have written. Like the worst army in the game, taking all the worst units in the worst army in the game. If not, I would have taken demons and just taken like great unclean ones and dumb crap like that. That are a bunch of points. You can't hide them and they don't do anything. That would have been something along those lines. You know, I would have done like a vehicle heavy great unclean one centric demons army monster mash. So like triple soul grinders, which don't do anything, triple great unclean one, which don't do anything, and just been like, I am going to exist. Maybe. You know, I am durable and you won't kill me, but I will not kill you, sir. And let us like cavort around these objectives that I do not have OBSEC for. And yeah, that would have been what I would have done.
I like it. I like it.
But there are a lot of bad armies you could make, right? For every
Yeah.
good army, for every like top tier army, like every S tier build, there's like 30 not good enoughs. Could you make a bad Tau army? What would that look like?
Um, so in a bubble, yes. We were told like don't take a Tau army with all the crisis suits without guns. Because you could do that. You could just slap
Uh,
uh,
Stay here.
ooh,
Game
we
two's
are
fine.
back. We are back
We are
to running.
we are back online and full power. We have been told. We're watching the Hank and Fred game unfold. Looks like this was the go turn from Hank, and he has picked up an easy couple of units. Looks like he's cleared his deployment zone pretty effectively and starting to make a few inroads into clearing the mid-table blob. But sorry, back to that, Seth.
Yeah, I mean, so we were told to do things like, don't do something like that. So with that in mind, could you make a bad Tau list? I'm sure you could. Um, I think you might have done a podcast talking about an insane Kroot army. If
Yes,
you took out all the buffs away from that army, like didn't give it the warlord traits to
no
help it out,
ethereal. Yeah.
and no hero, and just were like, here's Kroot and Krutoxes. That definitely isn't going to be very durable. It's got a lot of obsec and it's fairly mobile.
Mhm.
So I don't know if it would be the worst list in this event, but you could definitely make it not great in a standard event.
Yeah, because you think about some of the bad Tau units, and in this kind of environment, you'd be like, "Ah, yeah, like Riptides are pretty ordinary. You like take Riptides with all the wrong guns, and you're like, it just wouldn't die in this environment. It'd actually be fine." Like you think about a
Yeah,
Riptide with just a heavy burst cannon, and I suppose the Flamers are the worst pintle mounts or whatever you say. But they would shred intercessors. They'd actually just dunk intercessors all game.
definitely.
And they'd actually do just fine.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
Ghost Keels, I don't know, Sky Rays, whatever the flyers do. I don't even know what they do. I hear the bomber's okay. The Sunshark.
yeah. I actually like the Sun Shark, and I think it may have play because it if you think about it in terms of the AdMech flyer, I forget which one that just drops bombs all the time.
Hmm.
It's in that vein. It can drop bombs all the time.
Yeah, anything that can drop off like 5 mortals a turn and then have some gun is actually pretty respectable.
Yeah.
Looks like we're getting a points update probably for the end of Hank's turn 2, I believe. We're probably going into the uh, top of 3, I'd assume, because it looks like Fred scored at least um, one turn of 12 on primary, which is what
Mhm.
I'd assume. So this should be the top of 3 if I was to make a bold a guess from the table state. How do you feel like this
Oh.
one's going? Do you think this one's leaning Fred's way or Hank's way? What do you feel?
I don't know. I don't know. Score wise, obviously, it's in Fred's favor. And Fred is a very good player. Hank is also a good player. I've played against both of them.
Hmm?
Um, I think I don't know how much mobility is left in the Eldar army at this point.
Yep.
And yeah, like the Crimson Fists have guns that aren't super helpful with the Imperial Fist doctrine, but they're still guns. And Eldar walking across the table just don't want to get shot at, regardless of what their data sheet says.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know if it's enough to take down the Wraith Guard. Are those Wraith
Yep.
Guard or Wraith Blades?
Wraith
They
Blades. They
they
are
look
choppy choppy.
blades. Yeah, they
They
look
are
choppy
choppy
choppy.
choppy.
So, they're not gonna like getting hammered,
Who
if they get into
does?
combat. Yeah. So I don't know. I think right now, I'm leaning towards Fred. He's got the points advantage.
Mm,
Um, Assuming they haven't probably calculated no prisoners or obviously that'll go up, but Fred's secondaries, Stranglehold and Oath and Assassinate, those all like they walk hand in hand together, happily skipping across the meadow.
they
So
do.
he's got a lot of points to pick up there. He's in a strong
Mm,
position for the primary. Already being on a 30 primary is big.
yeah,
Um
it really is.
I can't I that turn counter can't be right. Um because that's how do you get 30 primary in one turn?
That's what I mean.
In
This
two
is
turns?
this is
Yeah.
this is the top of 3 for
Yeah. So
Fred.
I
So
mean
that's his
yeah,
second
he's
12. He's gotten 12 and 12 on his top 2 turns, and then he's got the bonus twice for the 15s.
yeah. So I say yeah, he's in a real strong position there. Um
Well, so
there's time left for Hank to make the primary gap up, but
yeah, I
I don't know if
think
it's
we
enough.
saw a bit of a flub occur in the top right. A unit of what looks to be 5 Wraith Blades went into 5 Intercessors and only killed 2.
Yeah, still there. Yeah,
Yeah,
they're still there,
that's
still
that's a
fighting.
big flub. So that's
Yeah.
if they fall back, if they're able to fall back, which they should if Fred can, and then they can turn off another turn of primary for Hank, giving him only a 4, that would be pretty dang god awful.
Yep. Not be a good thing.
Somebody has asked you. This is Relos 6. I'd love Seth to talk about the post nerf Tau. Lol. Oh wait, did they change the Eldar list? It is not. Oops, all Phoenix Lords. No, it is not. So they did
Yeah.
change that. It was actually decided that that list was the strongest of the pack and needed to be toned down because
Yeah.
it was just oops, all Phoenix Lords and
I
actually
believe
good
that was
units.
from the Holy Order of Richard Siegler. He commanded that list be nerfed more.
Not even
Uh,
coming to the event.
well, he did review last night. Colin and him reviewed the lists, and
Yeah.
he shamed Sean verbally for writing that list.
Well, it's thematically awesome. It's every Phoenix Lord and one of every aspect warrior.
Yeah, it's
It's
thematically awesome.
absolutely
It's not bad though.
amazing. It's actually not bad because, well, I think it's because of how many wounds. Having 6 wound gated infantry models that you can bodyguard and you can
Yeah,
protect I think is actually quite
and
potent.
one of them just being Baharoth. Period is
Bullshitteroth, as I like to
yeah,
call him. Um,
yeah.
but would you like to talk to the post nerf Tau? Please.
So Adam, I was running a bit of a different Tau list. It had 18 crisis suits. You know, I wasn't a madman. I was running a bunch of crisis suits. I was running 18 shield
You weren't
drones.
doing the full Ogden, as I like to
I
call it.
I wasn't, but I was running a custom set, blocking tactics and play their part, which gave those suits 3 models
Obs-
apiece on an
yeah,
objective and
it's sick.
obsec when they charge,
Hmm.
and it worked very well. The problem is, it may have gone up about 440 points, which is about 25% of that list. Um, so that really, really, really put the damper on crisis suit builds. I actually was talking with Tom this morning. He still thinks there's a crisis suit build out there. He's lost all of his shield drones though in that list, and I am concerned. Um, the the Tau shooting is good, but it is not so good that I can throw one crisis suit unit out, shoot, kill something, and then lose that crisis suit unit and be as effective next turn. Part of what makes Tau work, I think, in my opinion, is I go out, I shoot, I kill something, you shoot me back, and you kill my drones, and my unit is still intact to keep shooting.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
It's a
so
it's a non-trade trade. I come
yeah,
out and I trade for 2 to 3 units, and you trade for 1
yeah, it
back.
it just and sometimes those 4-ups get hot, and then you lose like 2 drones or something in a turn, and it can just be
Dude,
crippling.
dude,
Um,
I shot, what was it? 2 Thunder Strikes, 2 Dark Talons, with the +1 to hit, by the way. I put the 2 CP +1 to hit on a Crisis Suit unit, so all these things were hitting on 2s. And
yeah.
the Talon Master with Arbiter's Gaze in Dev Doctrine into a Crisis unit and just killed the 5 drones.
And
Like,
sometimes
did
those
no
four
damage
ups
to the
get
actual
hot, and
suits.
then
That's
yeah,
it's like a dead set 1,000 points shot and just
it's
killed the, yeah,
it's a
it's rough.
very very strong mechanic, but without that mechanic, I think they're in a rough spot. And so you get into how many if you lose so many suits, and basically in my list, looking at I'd have to lose like 2 or 3 suits, or at least 1 or 2 suits from each squad, and lose a fair and few drones. And at that point, are you losing enough volume that it falls below the critical mass of overwhelming firepower? Um, so I think you're not going to see as many crisis suits running around. That being said, with the Nephilim changes, you're also not going to see that many more commanders. You're not going
Mhm.
to see the 2 and 3 commander builds, just because you're talking multiple detachments. You're paying for all those warlord traits and relics. You have to have
Yep,
some CP to start the game.
yep.
You just want that in the bank. So I think you're going to see kind of a narrowing of the top end of those HQs, probably down to just one ethereal, one commander. But you know what didn't get touched? Hammerheads.
Hammerheads, man. That's the
Hammerheads came out
Yep.
scot-free.
And you
Um,
didn't really have a bunch of heavy support saturation.
yep,
And with broadsides getting hit as well, I think hammerheads are the logical pivot. You take a battalion, it's got 1 commander, long strike, and an ethereal. If you want to go Tau Stepped, you can still go 2 commanders if you want to go Farsight or custom Farsight, and then
yep.
it's breaches and Crute. One big. I still like 1 fatty unit of Crisis, and then I'm actually a big fan of 2 smalls, like 2 small bodyguard Crisis units.
Mhm.
Be that 2 mans, 3 mans, pick your poison, and then 2 or 3 hammerheads, and then you've got you fill the rest out as you please. I think that
Yeah.
archetype's savage still.
I think there's a lot of play there still. I think you're going to see those type of lists. Plus, with the Devilfish and Breachers, with the changes to aerial spotters, one of their secondaries, those units being able to complete at the end of the turn
Yeah, man.
makes it a
Yeah.
really strong combo there. So
Hmm.
I think you're going to see that running around a fair amount. Um,
I
yeah.
think
So
Tower. I think Tower are okay. I think they're
yeah.
not. Some people are calling it a death knell. It's just a death knell for a single build, which was an all-in build on a single profile. Like when you're spamming a single profile and it gets hit, cool. Yeah, you do think the sky is falling, but that
Yeah.
book is very deep.
Yeah, there's plenty left there.
What do you think about the Storm Surge change? I still think 1 Borkane Storm Surge
Woo!
can be justified in the right meta, but the 3 Storm Surge build is dead and probably should be.
Look, I may have at some point recently have purchased 3 storm surges. And I may have bought all the conversion bits to make them real pretty. And I may have built one, and then I started messing around with that crisis suit build, and I was like, I'll come back to this army. Yeah.
Nah, I
I
don't.
haven't come back to that army.
I don't understand why people think they're awful at 400 points. I thought they were stupidly undercosted at 330 or whatever they were. But that, like, you compare them to a knight now. Still, you know,
Mhm.
same toughness. How many wins on a How many wounds on
On
a
Stormsurge?
Storm Surge?
22.
22. Two less wounds, four less against Mechanicum, but
But
you
they
have a
always have a 4
perma
up involved?
perma 4+ invuln. Like perma. Like that's so freaking big when you're talking about that. And you
Yeah.
what? You're still cheaper than an equivalent knight that has you're over 100 points cheaper than a freaking Crusader, which is
Oh,
the
yeah.
only other knight with the equivalent shooting in the even comparable price band, and you're 50 60 points cheaper than the one gun and fist or sword knights. Why is this awful at 400 points? I don't understand. This is why I think one is still okay. The all-in triple build, I do think is a bit of a meme now, though.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think we'll be seeing that one too much. So,
Thank you to everybody in
unfortunate.
chat. Brian Aragon, what up to you too, sir? So we still have all the tabletop. Best in tabletop has chimed in. I believe that's probably Colin or our man behind the mirror.
Yep.
It said it's still all the Phoenix Lords, just replaced a bunch of the Aspect Warriors with Wraith Blades. The initial build was just too strong. I actually think the opposite there. I think if they were going to replace anything, maybe replace the Banshees and the Scorpions. But the rest of the Aspect Warriors are fine. I'd get freaking Karandras and Baharoth out of that list immediately.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
Um, uh, they're just those 2 are so strong.
They're so strong. Where it looks like we're just going to be going through a bunch of bolter shooting at the moment, trying to shred those wraith blades. Look, we did see the fallback happen in the top right quadrant against the wraith blades with the 3 intercessors. So we might hit a transition and go back to our table 1 game, see what's unfolding there. What is your first impressions upon our triumphant return, my man?
Oh boy, let's take a look at this. We have the meat wall's looking thin. Not
It's
gonna lie.
I was going to
It
assume it was.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like we've got a couple of intercessor units that hopped out and swung them big hammers around. Looks like is John doing some punching back? Because it looks like Noah just pulled a model and put a wound on a guy.
Mhm. That's what I'm seeing as well. Look, intercessors are surprisingly good when you don't have an armor save, right?
Hold on, hold on. Look at these models in the upper left. Are those guardians? Eldar guardians?
No.
They look like it. I'm real
Who has
confused.
30 rattlings? Do you own 30 rattlings? That's what I assume they are.
No,
I
okay,
assume they're
fair enough. Fair
rattlings.
enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Um, and
Yeah, I
then
can
there's
only.
definitely skinks back there now too. Now that I'm
Yeah,
looking closer, there are
yeah.
definitely skinks running
I
around.
I made a concerted choice to not bring that up when I saw them
Well,
before. I was like, let's just pretend. Let's stretch our imaginations,
look,
everybody.
that's how good their camouflage is.
It is.
Okay,
Yeah, the
that's
rattling's
how
just
good it
next
is.
level. They've got the freaking Galadriel cloaks from Lothlorien. They're
All right,
like, you
so
know,
we're in. I guess we're in John's. John went first, so we're in the top of 4.
it's either the bottom of 3 with Noah just scoring his primary. Oh, sorry, you're saying John's moving model, so it must be a top of turn. You're
Well, it's
correct.
the says round. John's round 4 on the top.
Yeah,
So that's
we're
right.
probably into the smite phase
So
for
if
John.
yeah, yeah.
Look,
Noah's looks like he's going to be sitting on an 8 primary
yeah,
when he starts his turn.
Noah just pretty much needs to stabilize. As long as if Noah
Yeah,
can just stay in touch, like
yeah. I mean, he's
not
only down by 2.
yeah, as long as he stays in touch, he just flips the primary on the bottom of turn 5 and
Yep.
probably wins by 6, 8
Yeah, and
points.
just keep killing off that meat wall to get
Yeah.
your more no prisoner points.
Well,
Um,
now that the meatball is committed, keep it committed there. Like start tapping it with impulses here, there, and everywhere. Like make it have awkward angles to shoot, and pile in, and fight. Because I mean, legitimately, the wait, he's still Legion, yeah. So we can't even make his stuff obsec with Cadia. Because so Cadians have a stratagem to make vehicles obsec and count as 5, and a sneaky trick that I've pulled off before is using Scout Sentinels, which when you spend the CP count as 15 obsec models. It can flip objectives really well. But you can't even do that because Steel Legion, which I think does literally nothing for this army, by the way.
Yeah, I think that was the intention.
Who would have thought? Who would have
Who
thought
would
Mitch?
have
Who would have
thought?
thought the devious Mitch Pelham would do something crazy like that? Christopher Irvine, the Rattlings are cosplaying as better units.
I love it.
Amazing.
I mean, he's not wrong.
Yeah, there is an Outward Realms game happening right now on the Outward Realms YouTube channel, which is also happening at Charity Hammer. We have the wonderful Michael Timpe, an amazing gentleman in the scene, and just a lovely, lovely guy. The primogenitor of the Outward Realms tabletop game. Another one, great one to support if you're all inclined or curious.
Yep.
But yeah, please jump over and donate. Watch whatever stream makes sense to you and that you enjoy, guys. There is a plethora of content coming hot and heavy all weekend.
Hot and heavy.
The
I mean,
heaviest and the hottest.
I hear from folks on the ground that it is supposed to be warm in the Pacific Northwest this weekend. So that might be a literal statement there.
Yeah, exactly right. Why do how? What's the hottest? Actually, sorry. Where do you live, Seth?
I live
I
in
know if
Alabama.
I know I've asked you before. That's right,
Yeah.
Alabama. Whereabouts?
I live in Auburn, which is kind of like mid level of the state, about 2 hours from Atlanta.
Nice. That's not too bad.
Yeah, but if you're talking about heat, last
Yeah.
week we reached a heat index of 104.
Ooh, nice.
I was not here. I was in Alaska, where it was 60, and I was like, "Wow, sucks for you guys. I'll be here."
104 is not that bad by Australian standards. That's warm, not hot. Not even like we wouldn't even call that hot. But
Yeah,
I can understand that is oppressive when it comes out of nowhere. Like that first one of the year, you're just like, Jesus, merciful, nothing. Can I take my skin off? Can I please take the skin off? Do
can I
not want.
please remove thy skin?
Yeah. Is it so bizarre that I want to play Impulses now? I want to like, you know what? I've got 3 painted Impulses. I could find an excuse, and I
Yeah, I
can't.
think
I
it is.
can't.
I think that's a fever dream.
It
I think the heat
absolutely
has
is.
gotten to you.
It is. It's distorting my perception of reality because impulses are not a thing. They how many points could they have gotten down? They could have gone down 20 points, I reckon. 90 points pre-war gear on impulses is not unreasonable.
No, no, I think they could have. Yeah, 90 points wouldn't have been bad. I think you could have pushed it even more to like 80. Because the question is, what are you putting inside them that is so?
Of that has value. Yeah, that
Yeah,
has any value. Mind you, I did a bit of a deep dive with some mates for teams events on the what's the Castellans of the Rift? They can make a couple of impulses feel pretty good.
yeah, yeah,
Because they can scout move one and then have the contents turn obsec and have a 6-inch heroic intervention, and yeah, it's pretty cool. Like putting 5 or 6 obsec blade guard on your opponent's home objective, like top of turn one, that heroic 6 and are obsec, like it's freaking a pain in the ass.
yeah, yeah. I could see that.
Hmm. Is it funny that I think that the Hammer of the Emperor has like the wells run dry on the Hammer of the Emperor points? Like
Yeah,
John might have gotten 3 or 4 points, and that's it. That's probably going to stay around there.
and that's why I felt like that was the weakest secondary. That's why I was thinking like R&D or something would have been better because you R&D 2 table quarters there. You're 4. You're about as much, and if you can
Yeah.
sneak that into the backfield and get
Mm.
another one, boom, you're at 8. That might be the difference in this game.
Well, funnily enough, R&D is actually really the 6 impulses with intercessors in it is actually a really good R&D army.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
that could have been a great. I don't know. I'd
Yeah.
be interested to see the actual points breakdown, but I don't think Noah's secondary choice was that bad,
Nah, I think it's good.
except for the assassinate, like I said, which
Uh,
is a
I
win more, but
I
he might
think
be on his path to win more.
John's playing the meme for the meme gods.
Yeah,
With his secondary picks, interrogate Hammer the Emperor and assassinate. He's like, yeah, whatever. Doesn't matter. This thing's not going to be decided that by points that much.
yeah.
Uh, Shed the Skin and Max Impulse from Nurgle Matthew. Uh, Valerie, Cadians are cheating with Eldar. Finally saw the superior race. Heartily disagree. Monkai for the win. Monkai? Whatever.
Okay.
Dirty Monkey.
Oh,
Dirty
Eldar.
Yeah, yeah. Is it Eldar called him Monkey? What do the Tau call him?
Yeah, Guavesa, I
Yeah,
think.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
I love them. I love the Monkey.
All right,
Filthy.
what's going on here? Are we charging ratlings into an impulsor?
Yes, that is the meme. You're living the meme, dying by the meme. Why not? Why not, boys? Get stuck in. Kill it.
See,
Who
this you
cares?
you asked earlier, do I enjoy these types of games? And this is the moment that I'm like, we are banking the chance of winning a game on ratlings charging impulsors to tie them up.
I love everything about it. Everything about it. I mean, because what I love even more about it is that those ratlings are absolutely annihilated by the shooting of one impulsor will kill 10. Like good odds
And
to kill 10 ratlings.
it's forcing the bullets into them.
It's true. It's true, and it's forcing the movement more than anything else.
And it looks like what do we got going on here? Some
Looks like
Ogren
some
coming down here and
yeah, some
punching on that objective.
yep. I
Is
mean, if
there
that
anything in that bottom intercessor or impulsor?
impulsor, no, it doesn't look like it. Mind you, there was a unit of 3 guys behind that.
Yeah, I think I see 6 Marine bodies, maybe 5 Marine
Yeah,
bodies.
I see about the same.
So, I mean, if he has the volume to clear this objective of bodies, I don't
Mm.
know necessarily what's gonna. Maybe there's some guys in that middle impulsor that could come down.
Yeah, there's definitely guys in the middle impulsor, but he kind of wants to harbor his strength now for the bottom of turn. Like he's at the
Yeah,
point where if he invests and lets more intercessors get eaten, he loses his ability to get to 12 at the end of the turn and swing the game back. So he's at a risk of being bled out, which is not something I expected to say this game.
yeah,
Like because essentially he started with 6 impulsors, he has 3 left. He's at half strength right now, or worse, because we don't know the
yeah.
character situation. I can see at least one character I believe still alive. Uh, or it might just be a Thunderhammer Sergeant that I'm looking at. Rattling. Go, boys. There's only 6 of them, dude. 6
They
champion
got this.
Rattlings.
They
They
got
do.
this.
They do. 8,
Heroes of the Imperium, all.
8 Stormbolter shots shooting into the combat. Hitting on 3s, wounding on, killing on
Oh,
2s.
we're
If they're,
pulling the mission up. We're checking the mission book.
don't, please don't, boys. There's nothing to see there.
That
So one,
no, that to me, I feel like that's got Noah's scratching his head for a minute. He's looking for where he can pull some points out of the
it was like, where do I even go from here?
hat. Yeah,
There's still so many Ogryn. Look at what did you call it?
the meat wall.
The meat wall. The meat wall is still in full effect on the bottom
Yeah,
right hand objective, the bottom right hand corner.
yeah.
There is what looks to be a full unit of Ogryn still there. They're just mobbed down onto that
Oh yeah,
objective.
they are not going anywhere.
Mind you, their ability to kill intercessors is god awful. Absolutely in armor contempt, absolutely tragically bad. You just got to drown them in attacks. I think they have 4 each. I think there's 4
They have
each.
3 base and 4 on the charge. I think.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah,
remembering from the bad old
that'll
days.
do something.
I mean, yeah, I mean a lot of dice will be thrown, but he's just gonna have a 3 up. And if he's got CP for transhuman, it doesn't look like he does, by the way. What? 8 guys, 4 attacks apiece. 30 is that 32 attacks?
Yeah.
Yeah, 32 going into 3s. So what's that? About 21 hits, and then wounding on, let's say 3s again. So 16, 15 wounds, maybe we'll go 14 wounds, and then 3 ups. Yeah, you kill 2 dudes. Yeah, 2 and a bit dudes. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Except the Thunderhammer's left, and it kills like 3 back, and then you found morale. Rough day at the office.
Yeah, yeah, that's not a great day.
Is it freaking wild that it's like Ogryn versus the most basic ass Space Marines ever, and it's still a rough day at the office?
I mean, Space Marines are what they are. Like they are the Emperor's sword.
Finest, the elite of the
The
elite.
Ogren are like the mutants we tolerate.
Looks like he's got 3 wounds to go through in that combat. By the way, if we missed it. So yeah, all those Ogryns, 3 wounds went through. Just yeah. just bad, sad, bad. Well, I mean, I don't even know what they can do apart from a total rewrite of the data sheet. I don't know what they can do to make Ogryn relevant. Bulgrin, just
I mean, they are planning on a total rewrite of the data sheet because there's a new codex coming.
you're better. I mean, legitimately though, Bulgrin could just get another rend, and they're probably absolutely fine. If they had rend 2, I think that should be 4 wounds by the way as well. Toughness 5, 4 wounds.
Yeah,
But
I can see that.
yeah, rend 2 instead of rend 1 would make all the difference for Bulgrin. Ogryn, I have no idea what you do. As long as they've got a 4-up armor save, they're trash. They're so trash. Like they're just a Tyranid warrior without the good combat. I mean, sorry. All right, you ready to go down an awful rabbit hole?
All right, let's go.
All right, an Ogryn compared to a Tyranid warrior. Tyranid warrior now costs 30 points. Ogryn is 25 points. Ogryn has the same toughness, the same wounds, and the same armor save. Doesn't have any ability to get an invulnerable save, whereas Leviathan has a lot of ability. Does have any ability to get transhuman. Leviathan has a lot of ability to get transhuman. Its gun has no rend, the same 3 shots as Death Spitter, but no rend, whereas Death Spitter is rend 2. And in melee, they can only have strength 5, rend 1, whereas a Tyranid warrior can have up to strength 8 minus 2 damage on bone swords, and I think the same 4 attacks if buffed right with Kraken. Is that right?
Yeah, I feel like someone's thrown that many dice at me once or twice.
Yeah, like what a oh, yeah, and Obsec. Just put cherry on top, and Obsec and Fearless on
Yeah.
the Tyranid Warriors. Just a cherry on top for that comparison, guys. That is how far data slates have come since the Guard Codex was out.
Look, I think it's just it's always going to make you feel bad comparing data slate to data slate, from different
It is.
codexes.
It
Just
is.
just look in your own codex and be happy. And
Mm.
I'm waiting to see what this dice goes down on top of this impulsor.
Yeah, me too. That's the I want to see 2 wounds done. Hitting on 5s, wounding on 6s, 2 wounds. I mean,
It
they've got
is
1 attack each.
What
So
is down to 6,
literal,
7,
literal, literal 6 attacks,
9,
hitting on
9.
5s, wounding on 6s.
It's
They
at
shouldn't.
9
They
wounds.
shouldn't even do a wound.
It's at 9. Somehow they did something. They scratched the paint.
Christopher Irvine, what about Ogryn's versus Claude Fiends? Which one's worse there? Uh, uh, I argue the Claude Fiend might just be worse. I might just be worse with that one.
But isn't the Claude Fiend in the Drukhari book?
Yes, we are still comparing the. Well, you can't even say apples to oranges. You need like apples to like a vegetable, something not even in the same, like not even a fruit.
Yeah.
But yeah, we had hashtag meat shield wall last charity hammer. We're gonna have hashtag meat wall from this one.
Meatwall will do it. I believe in Meatwall.
I believe in the meat wall. Back in the meat wall.
Chat, are you backing the Meatwall, chat?
Yeah, where were you when the meat wall was formed?
Yep.
I was here. There could be a cool strat to like it just says scrum, like like a rugby scrum where like the meat wall forms. Like you get 2 units of Bulgrin, and they all, as long as they're all touching bases, they like get an extra toughness or something. I love that stuff.
I believe it.
He needs to go and get those Tanith first and only. He needs to go get those Gaunt Ghosts and just
I'm
and
telling
max
you,
that.
it was a win more. It was a win more secondary.
Well, we have just seen the primary updated for Noah, and he has just made the lead on this game.
Oh.
Is 36 to 224 going into the bottom of turn 4. So yeah, man, there is some points here, there, and everywhere. So that is 24 on the primary, and notice what's winning for it right now. Sorry, what's winning for it right now is reasonable secondaries versus meme lord secondaries, which is what John has taken.
Reasonable secondaries and adequate data sheets.
Yes, versus neither of those
We
things.
have got the librarian out. Tiggy is out on the field. That
Yeah.
could be some more psychic interrogate and assassinate points.
I'm pretty sure he's of the opinion this game isn't going to be won or lost by those 2 secondaries.
But
Which
that's 7 points there because Tiggy's the warlord.
oh, that's true. Yeah, 7-point swing. That's actually a thing.
7 points would put John back in the lead.
In front. Yeah, exactly right. It'd be amusing if that came to bite him in the butt.
Are there some rattlings that can take aim?
Yeah. Well, There are actually. There's 2 units of rattling still on this table.
That's 20 strength 4 shots
Do it.
at Tig.
Do it. Do it, boys. 1 CP Bulgrin dog pile. Every model rolls a 2+, 31 mortal wounds to units they're in combat with. That'd be cool. I'd love that. Meatwall getting some hype in chat also. We're here for it. Thank you very much. Hashtag Meatwall.
Hashtag Meatwall.
Do we have a player in the GT that can take up this mantle should our champion of the Meatwall in John fall? Like the Meatwall cannot die. It needs to continue for the entire charity hunt now.
I feel like if we hop back over, I think you could probably call the Crimson Fist army Meatwall as well, because it is also just a pile of bodies walking forward.
It is. It doesn't have the girth of the Ogryn though.
It doesn't, but I don't know. I mean, the wraiths aren't really meat; they're bone.
Yeah, bone wall, construct wall.
I mean,
It doesn't have the ring. Doesn't have the ring.
We're back on the other game, but I mean, there's some meatiness there. It's got a hard outer coating. It's like M&Ms. They melt in your mouth, not in your hand. But it does look like we've got a pretty significant lead at this point for Fred. He's up 20 points.
They the
on
Skittles.
Hank.
Is it the Crimson?
They're the
Skittles?
meat pies. Meat pies. Crispy crust, juicy meaty center.
We don't have the ability to stop people.
They're taking us away from that game. They're like, no, stop talking about meat pie. Go back to meat wall.
But yeah, why would Tiggy be coming out, do you think?
He's moved Tiggy in such a way that he is being blocked by another impulsor. So I don't know. Maybe you can draw a line with some of the rattlings and catch Tiggy's butt.
Oh, it looks like he wants to finish off that unit of Ogryn on the middle objective.
Yeah, I'm guessing he's get some smite power there.
Yeah.
I don't know what other powers Tiggy has, but doing some mortal wounds is always a good.
I know he's got.
Tiggy's also not horrible in combat.
Yeah, he's not. He's not at all. I know he's got Psychic Fortress. I'm just trying to think.
Why has he pulled all of his intercessors off of the objective on the bottom right?
Because he just scored for his top of 4, so he doesn't score again until the bottom of 5. So he can leave the objectives now. Doesn't matter.
Okay, all right. But that's giving John primary points.
As long as he clears them off, I guess.
Yeah, he's got to clear that off.
So he's got. Wrong Libby. I was thinking about the Libby in the Imperial Fist army. He's got precog, empiric channeling, and psychic shackles. I don't know what any of those do because they're all
same here. But I know what he does have is smite.
Definitely has smite. Anybody who can enlighten us, please
chat. Tell us the insane concept that is those psychic powers.
Yeah. Any updates on Nathan's game? As just pointed out by Best in Tabletop, the game hasn't started yet. He's up next. He was enjoying some sun some minutes ago, so we'll be calling the Nathan game up next.
We'll be having a good show with that one because I'm gonna love to see what that orc list does.
Agreed. We able to actually switch over to the Hank and Fred game for a couple of minutes. I just want to get a quick call and update there. Thank you very much, my dudes. Yeah, Fred is somewhat pulling ahead now. A nice 20-point lead. A lot of that being on the primary, which we knew with Fred going first and flooding that many OBSEC bodies and having such a supremacy of OBSEC was always going to be really hard for Hank to dig him off. And in addition to that, it looks like we've had a dog pile of race going on to the middle, but then Fred's responded by doubling down and sending more units to the top right to saturate that objective.
Is there anything on the bottom right objective?
It looks like we've got a unit standing behind the wall. We've got at least a wound counter there that I can see, which believes there is something back there. I was
like, there better be something back there, because if Hank completely left that, that's going to be a bad day.
It is. Looks like we've charged. Looks like Fred has charged. No, looks like Fred's charged off the top right objective onto the Wraith Blades. He's dogpiling the Wraith Blades. Maybe he realized that they're more of a threat than he thought, or he had his shooting.
No, I believe that unit that just moved was that dark unit. They're on 40s. I think those are Wraith Blades from Hank.
Oh, okay.
So Hank charged off that top objective in the midfield. So he's got 3 units of Wraith Blades hitting that midfield objective.
Who thought this list was soft? Who thought this was softer than the Aspect Warriors?
Yeah, because Hank is the player on the top of our screen, reaching across.
There's a lot
on the bottom.
There's a lot of grinding power in 3 units of Wraith Blades.
Yeah, yeah. I
When
mean,
the
you can only
only
make Eldar so bad,
that's
right?
that is very true. That is a very true statement, my dude. Um, like even if you took like just a bunch of their worst data sheets, like if you took 3 units of Dark Reapers, there is a point where you hit a critical mass that actually is a good again. Like you just hit enough strength 8 shots that they are good. Or that they sorry, more not that they're good, that they bring value.
Yeah.
Um Justin Randolph or just one stream this year? No, one mainstream that we're gonna be. So I haven't told you guys the format for this year. We're gonna have one mainstream with the commentary duo or single, depending on who's available, and then we've got dedicated streams for the other table. So just been told about by Best in Tabletop in the chat. There's a dedicated stream for a table will be live during the GTs. So during the GTs, you're gonna have some ability to watch the game that you want to play, or stick with us in the commentary side of things, and hopefully have the entertainment and the commentary color. And while we jump around from game to game, giving you
And
those updates.
definitely you're gonna want the color because this is where the color's at.
That's right. Who wants to listen to some dreary
Who
top
wants to
name
listen? Yeah, yeah,
players?
top tier players
Yeah.
explaining their new
Bah.
lists in the new points with the
Nah.
new missions and the new balanced data slate. Who
Nah.
wants to hear that? You want talking heads.
That's right. That's right. You want two. Well, actually, you've been having a great season, mate.
Yeah, yeah, I've been well,
You
I've been
are you
having a pretty good run of it, yeah.
are you still in the top 10 in the RTC?
No, no, I don't think I ever got I don't think I only have, like, 3 or 4 scores. I haven't
Oh, really?
I'm doing a budget version of, Siegler, which is I'm only attending, like, a handful of events, I'm just not gonna win them all.
Yeah, fair. That's budget Siegler. That's got to be a
Yeah.
term. That's got to catch on. Please let that catch fire.
I mean, Siegler basically found the cheapest way to win the ITC, I think.
It's never been done before, and I don't know if it'll ever be done again because that is an absolute aberration.
Unless someone can find a way to do it with 5 events, yeah, I don't think we're
Yeah, yeah, because he only had one stinker.
yeah.
Yeah, poor Eldar. So Valerie, poor Eldar. After they removed the last to the last, they will receive nerfs. Yeah, yeah. So Eldar have had the 3 tier hit now, whereas their best secondary combination just got nerfed. They still have great secondaries though. Their points got updated. Their CP got reduced, and now their rules have changed. Like so, fire and phase once per game. The auto 6 battle focus is now just a re-roll the dice for the battle focus. So they're gonna have to change dramatically. I think the best build that they have that remains powerful, I think, is Nick's list, Nick's style list, because it was already a
Yeah.
battalion, so it got the best of the CP changes. In addition, it saved you CP by the use of the webway gate, putting things in reserve, and it had the flexibility of having just a bunch of different units rather than all inning one thing and trying to keep them safe.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I like
Uh,
Nick's list.
Is it crazy to me that I feel like the Crimson Fists are starting to thin on the ground, but it might be too late? Like the
Yeah,
Fred
I
might
mean,
be too far ahead.
they they definitely are. I mean, they're gonna lose that midfield objective, which isn't
Mm.
gonna be
Well,
fantastic for them for Oath and Stranglehold, but they have enough in the back that I think they can just throw a feeder unit up there every turn
yeah,
and
that's
retake that objective.
they've gone they I think they've entirely lost their ability to contest Hank's side of the board, but that damage is done already. It's already
Yeah.
done. If he could just hold Hank off a 12 in Hank's turn 4, that's fine.
Yep.
That you will still he will still win on the primary because it's he's gotten 2 15s. Like Fred has gotten double 15s, like 12 and a
Yep.
12 and plus the 3 bonus. If he just
Yep.
gets 8s from here, he maxes.
I don't
um
know where Fred's at on Assassinate, but he can definitely score a good chunk more on Oath and Stranglehold.
yeah,
I think the clock is running out on Hank scoring significant amounts for scout the enemy and behind enemy
yeah,
lines.
agreed behind enemy lines. It's a questionable choice. He may not have felt like he had any better recourse. I honestly, rather than take behind enemy lines, I mean, I love the combo of scout the enemy and behind enemy lines together. They are very good. Like one
Mhm.
unit of rangers goes into the backfield, does the action for 3 points, gets 2 points on behind enemy lines, 5 points for a unit of rangers. amazing value. But I do think a psychic secondary would have been just fine here. But I just remembered he took no psychics because he's got Phoenix Swords. uh,
Right.
Never mind me. How about engage? Would engage have been better? But it just means you have to feed like all your small units.
I think rather than behind enemy lines, you've got those big blocks of wraith that probably the first turn or two maybe not have been doing much. I'm going to say it again. R&D? Question mark. Can you hear me?
Between the myriad of characters and the big wraith blobs, what gets R&D? What actually makes R&D? Just getting the 4 points and being happy
Doesn't he
with
have
it.
scouts there? Aren't those
It's
scouts
got
in the
it's got
top
2
objective?
units of it's got 2 units of rangers. Yeah.
Rangers. I mean, like, yeah, but I mean, like, you put, you know, if you have to put some stuff into strategic to make Hank, hide his backfield a little bit better, which, I mean, did he put anything into strategic?
I would had to
Anything?
assume that Hank put the rangers in strategic, right?
But I've
With
I've
this,
not seen anything come out in that into Fred's backfield.
well, he blocked it out. He completely blocked it out. We saw he was leaving multiple
Ah, yeah,
units
good point.
back to zone it out, um, which I mean, it does make me assume that it was a misplay in hindsight. But he
Yeah,
didn't know that at the time.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, because right now you're getting almost nothing
Oh,
for those. If you at
oh,
least R&D your side of the table, you at least get 4.
oh, Valerie, my sweet summer child, had not seen the balanced data slate. I am sorry to be the bearer of bad news. I will prep my small violin for you when you are ready. You let me know. I'll bring it out and then you can have a rant in the Twitch chat while I serenade you. No tears shall be shed by me. Um,
Some tears, some tears.
uh, Honestly, it seems like to me, Eldar got the Custodes treatment. They got hit as bad as hard as Custodes did initially, whereas Custodes lost all their obsec, all their best strats got kind of annihilated. It feels like the same. They nuked the play style. They didn't target the units. They targeted the play style of Eldar, and it's been a significant change. But yeah, Valerie. Hopefully you're sitting down. Hopefully you've got a cup of tea or coffee. Hopefully nothing hot or sharp is around you, because like if you strike the table in frustration, yeah,
I was gonna
it's
think
going to
more
be a thing.
fragile. Nothing fragile, you don't
Yeah,
wanna.
nothing fragile. We don't want anything breakable nearby. Um, Custodes did get points nerfs. They just got the Galatas, the Achilles, and Trajan got hit by 40 points. Um,
Poor Trajan.
yeah, not as crazy as what the Eldar. Well, not as holistic as what the Eldar points increases, but significant nonetheless.
Yeah.
Well, their 2 best things got hit pretty hard, essentially. But
Alright.
I genuinely didn't think Custodes were undercosted, like points wise. I thought they were just fine points wise. It was the rules I felt like were a bit erroneous. Like as
Yeah,
long as
and
they,
with the rules changes they made, like, you saw the win rate drop pretty quickly on Custodes, so I
well,
thought that was enough.
how do you feel about this statement? With the biggest issue that I had with Custodes is that as long as they had CP, they were invincible. Like they could just have 1 or 2 units of their army
Yeah.
that were impossible to kill. Uh, Nobody has enough CP for that anymore to do that for multiple turns. So, do you think they could unshackle those stratagems again? Because they're expensive stratagems. They're 2 CP strats now, I believe. Well, if they're not, they should maybe just put them up to 2 CP per use, no matter what unit, and then just take off the once per game restrictions. Because ain't nobody can drop 4 CP a turn to keep their stuff alive for more than 1 turn of the game now.
I could definitely see that. Yeah, I mean, if I'm trying to think of how many CP they spend pre-game. So they take a patrol, our battalion, make it free. They usually had multiple guys running warlord traits and relics. So
Hmm.
they're only probably starting with 2 or 3 CP. So yeah, I mean, I think you could let them do it multiple times now and just say, "Hey, you've got to try to make it work um, with the CP amount because you're only gonna get 2 per turn. So you pop that a big combo turn 1, and maybe you only get it once every battle round instead of multiple times a turn.
Hmm.
I don't think that'd be too bad.
Um, so it's just been mentioned by Relos. It said super disagree. Halo Doom didn't get touched very much. I think Ulthway got hit much harder. How do you feel about that statement?
Although we got hit points wise.
Yeah, it did.
Because a lot of things in that list got hit. Actually, our esteemed leader Colin was talking about yesterday that a lot of stuff in his list went up in points. But the Hail of Doom didn't get a lot of their units increased. You didn't see the Wind Riders go up. You didn't see the Avengers go up
by much. Yeah, Avengers went up 1 point. Like,
yeah. So
it's
but Hail of Doom, like we said, losing access to ignore cover, that might be enough. If armies can leverage that, yeah, it's hard to say. I think they're probably neck and neck. Right now,
the Wind Riders not getting touched only makes sense now that we've seen that you can't fire and fade them or keep them safe perpetually.
yeah.
Now it makes sense. Like, it actually does make sense that they didn't smack him with the point stick. Because if they went up and they lost all the fire and fades and like protection ability, then it actually gets quite awkward for that unit. We are going to hit back over to the John Lennon
We're
game.
hearing hot shenanigans are in play.
Yeah, the game is afoot or a feat or even
the
two
meat
foots.
wall still seems to be intact.
Meatball stands. Meatball strong.
Looks like Noah charged back on to steal that objective from John, with that unit of intercessors.
Hmm. The gap is
So
closed. Was it a 2 or 3 point difference? Now it's a 1 point difference.
so what are we doing here for John? John he's tried to
Truth is,
cover his objectives. He's trying to block Noah from getting
well,
anywhere. Noah's going to get at least a 4, probably an 8.
John just needs to stop Noah getting the 12. Like, the issue,
Yeah.
the issue is Noah can just from this position. John's already scored for his turn 5 primary by the looks of things, so he's sitting on a square 24 that will not go up. Noah by default will get more primary than John, so he'll end on a minimum 28, like minimum 28. I don't see how John stops him getting 4. Most likely he gets 8.
Yeah, I mean, literally,
Undeniably,
that unit of intercessors sits on the top right objective, and
4
there's
points.
4
Yeah,
points.
and
And
then
he
if
can
he
fall back from combat and sit on the bottom objective. Boom, he's got
well
8.
4 points from that, and any one character dies. Like, kill one of the freaking.
All right, he's got Tiggy down to a few wounds. I
Yep,
think we're in shooting and or psychic.
it has to be. It has to be shooting now. Yeah.
Oh,
If he
that
get
was not a good roll from John.
no,
Lots of ones and twos.
if he does kill Tiggy, that's 4 more points for John. So he'll sit on a square 50. Oh, sorry, he'll get a kill point as well on Hammer of the Emperor. So he'll sit on a nice 51. I love that I'm saying a nice 51. Nobody should be expecting anything above 80 points for
Ooh,
any of these
that
matchups.
looked like a CP reroll on a wound there. 201. I think
Ooh,
John's fishing for the
the kill.
any and all possibilities to get that Tigerius killed.
Well, it's so many points. It's the last decent point stump he's going to have available to him. Apart from that, all he needs to do is do whatever he can to stop the primary score of Noah. Noah gets, I mean, if Noah controls 3 objectives, it's a 15-point swing games. Don't even play turn 5 if you can't stop Noah getting a 15. Getting a 12.
If I'm John, do you charge those ratlings into the intercessors and try to wrap them in so they can't leave that objective on the bottom
You do
and
everything.
fall back?
You make every
Yeah.
charge. You put everything on every objective. So he can't shoot, can't fall back. Just take away any efficiencies he's got. Just continue what you've been doing. The meat wall come forth and conquers. We believe.
The meat wall meats.
uh, so Sean Richley has asked, but why did they smack scatterbikes then? So if we followed my train of thinking, which is giving GW a lot of props, it is being very generous to GW and saying they've got a lot of foresight with this stuff. If you take away the ability to keep scatterbikes safe by fire and fading and battle focusing, the only other way to shoot them and keep them safe is to have them out of range, and that is what scatter bikes give you over shuriken bikes. So scatter bikes, you could take the same 2 or 3 inch scatter bikes, and then you could sit them on the back of the board. They're 36-inch range. Just use range to keep them safe then, which then would extrapolate, hey, maybe scatterbikes become the value pick now. I don't agree with that. I think that is being very generous to G-Dub's foresight, which would be much more than they've ever shown ever. But that would be the only logic I could see for it, mate.
Oh, I just noticed that there are intercessors on that bottom left objective.
Yes, I thought I saw them there. I was about to point that out. If you can't kill them at a minimum, like the game is cooked, absolutely cooked. And we thought turn 3 this could go either way, right? We thought if Noah harbors his strength, it's his game. It's absolutely his. If he just like sits 3 units of 5 guys, the bare minimum amount of guys, and keeps 2 or 3 units safe in impulses,
I
game's his.
believe we are
Game's his.
seeing Gaunt's Ghost try to charge in on Tiggy.
Yeah, boy, do it! Oh my god, do it! Be absolute legends, be absolute champions. Good lord.
It looks like
Uh,
they're just trying to figure out the measurement here.
this is a question for the best in tabletop guys. What changes have they implemented in the GT later in view of the changes? How much are we best in tabletop lads? What are we adopting from the changes? Are we getting the
My
full?
understanding for the main GT, it is the full Monty.
I
It's
I'm
everything. They were writing lists this morning.
exactly. I think I don't know, through hell or high water, Charity Hammer has hit in such a way that you guys, the viewers, get 40 hours of premium top table content, including this game, the Meat Wall,
Yep.
yes, showcasing the best and brightest of our community on the cutting edge of the new meta. So, man, if you've got nothing much to do this weekend, or you're going to be in and out, leave Charity Hammer on, come in, check out what some of the best players in the world are doing, sling a couple of bucks, win some stuff, enjoy the commentary, enjoy the chats. It's going to be freaking wild. We're going to see the new meta coalesce in front of our eyes.
Oh yeah. It's
Yeah,
going to be an interesting day.
and good job to Charity. Sorry, to the best in tabletop guys for being so flexible, being so accommodating, and just being willing to shackle themselves to the madness that has been the last like week and a half.
There's been a lot going on.
What's your favorite change that has come recently from all the new content, and what's your least favorite change, mate? And people in chat, give us your favorite and least favorite as well.
It's going to be controversial, but I like the CP changes.
You're crazy.
Because I told you it was going to be controversial. All right, I told you that's what I said. But it's because of how much it affects list rating.
Mm.
It's. I mean, we're like without significant points changes. I was still looking at how do I fundamentally rewrite my tau list because I just can't afford to start with no CP. I think it definitely hurts a lot of armies. That didn't need to be hurt, and so I'm hoping that maybe down the line we see a little bit of adjustment, changing CP costs on certain stratagems. Now that CP are at such a premium, but it has such a drastic effect on list building.
It really does. And then you got the elastic band effect of paying for the Waller traits as well. Like even if it was just one or the other, you could quite kind of get away with it. Like they could even have done like it's 2 CP for your first. So you get your first free relic and Waller trait, but the first one you want to purchase is doubled. Like it's 2 CP for each extra. And then starting at 6. Because the only thing that bothers me about the changes is the lack of flavor. I feel like it encourages more homogenous list building rather than people adding their own spice and tech, which I feel like we already lost a bunch of when we had the you have to write down everything on your list change going into 9th edition. So this, to me, it feels like more of a getting closer and closer to playing chess. But I am here for it, and I'm actually excited. Well, it's reinvigorated my list building, especially for Dark Angels. Like I was at a point where I had like 3 Dark Angels builds, and they were just kind of the archetype was locked in at about 1,600 points of the lists were always locked in, which was getting quite boring. But yeah, now it's totally back to the drawing board. Some reading from the chat. JK's favorite change is dropping to 6 CP. Least favorite is paying for the Warlord traits and relics. Classy Backham. Least favorite Harlequins losing their luck rerolls. Best change Necron command protocols. 6 CP seems fair. Not every army has a Reaper of whatever or a reroll or hits or wounds more than Val, etc. So they don't need to pay. Yeah, totally agree. Last one. Chrombos 152. Best change is Eldari Hemlock up in points. That thing was way overpowered.
Definitely. You
Your
saw
son,
it just smashing all the top tables.
just a annihilation machine. Um, da, 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 da. Fair enough. Yeah, Valerie's just catching up in the Twitch chat. Valerie's just catching up with the Eldari changes. Yeah. Hopefully that's not a rough day at the office for you, mate.
Rip.
Rip rolly. Like yeah, absolutely rough. Meatwall. Oh, is it crumbling? Is it holding still? I'm seeing some Ogrins being removed. Looks like we're down to 5 or
That's the
6.
job of the meat wall. That's the
Yeah,
job of the meat wall.
they're down to about 6 in the bottom right hand corner. You think
It looks
John?
like Tiggy's down,
Yeah, it looks like T is down. So there's
but
a
the
bunch of
points
points.
have not been updated on the secondaries, so points might not be accurate.
Yeah, minimum John's got another 4 points coming from killing of Tiggy. 4 for assassinate because he was the warlord.
4 for assassinate, 1 from hammer.
I mean, if he got another psychic interrogation off before then, we could see
Yeah,
another
that'd be
7
8
points being
points.
added. Yeah. So he'd be at what 53 then, and then another another point of psychic interrogation. You're right. Yeah, another 8 points we get added. So it'd be at 54. Noah's still too close. I think. I think Noah probably
Yeah,
has
Noah's.
this.
Yeah, if John's sitting at a 54, in Noah's turn, if he scores a 12,
He's
then
already at
that's a
54.
tie.
And
Yeah,
if he's
and then
scoring a
if he's
12,
scoring a 12, he's
he's
getting
getting
stranglehold.
exactly right. He's by default getting 3 more points than John is.
Yep.
So John needs to find 4 more points. If John can get another 4 points in his turn
I think we're
somehow,
in John's combat phase. I don't
I
know.
think we are. Yeah. Where can he get points from?
It
He has to
says
get
round
like
5. It says
maybe
round
there's a
5 is Noah's turn on the screen.
okay. So maybe we are jumping down into Noah's turn. Look, he doesn't honestly have that much to do. Noah, like as long as his boys are
I
alive
mean,
and not.
he's sitting on. Yeah, he's sitting.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's
he's just
falling
falling
back.
back.
He's
Sitting
on the
objectives.
objective.
Impulsor's falling back as well. He did lose another impulsor, by the way.
Yeah, you
He's
did.
down to 2. So
Those guys, yeah. I mean, that's 1, 2, 3 objectives he's on. He falls back against the ratlings on the bottom left objective, right? And then he
yeah.
just holds it.
But what did we say? We said about an impulse. He has the ability. He has around about the ability to kill an impulsor return. That has held almost exactly true. Like 1 a turn for 4 turns is what he's pretty much accomplished.
Yep.
He's missed.
Yep.
He missed 1 turn. With turn 1, he didn't kill 1. Every other turn, he's popped 1.
All right. Well, I think he's rolling the dice here, but if our math's right, I think this is done for John.
He's just trying to see what he can pull on the assassinates. I guess he's got the last chances or whatever.
Yeah,
The
the
Gaunt's Ghost are at
Gonskis.
the other middle of the table. Just pop some shots into him. Everyone you kill's worth a couple.
Yep.
Very simple stuff. We might head over to the Hank and Fred game. This one looks like to be wrapping up. We'll get a final score for you guys when it comes through. Man, Fred is just pulling ahead of Hank. He's up to a 23-point lead now. It was 20 points. He's extended it by a couple more now.
Yep. That's I think we he's still going to have a good chunk of wraiths left. I mean, it doesn't look like he's lost any, and we've seen a fair more chunk of bodies go away from crunchy meat wall here, but meat pie, if you will. Sorry, I forgot what I originally termed it. But yeah, that points gap is getting pretty big.
It's just obsec versus no obsec, and the obsec went first, so they're getting the chance to pace out the game pretty well.
Yeah.
Classy Backham, no player mic this tourney, so we get to listen to your sweet voice all weekend. Whilst I am here, I'm not required for all of the stream. You guys have a myriad, an absolutely amazing lineup of commentary. Not only me.
Did we not tell you, Adam? We signed you up for all 72 hours.
Well, it's going to be hard because I'm playing in a Teams event tomorrow.
I have faith in you. Get a headpiece. Use a phone.
Do both. Yeah. But yeah, no, you got.
I believe in Adam Camilleri.
I no. It's a lot. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of sleep I will not be getting. But just going to give you guys a quick rundown of what you guys can expect from the weekend, commentary wise. So during the GT, you can have. So I'll be joined. Seth's going to be with me for another round. Yeah, then I'm going to be joined by the
Yep.
awesome Alex Tose, who's joining me for his first line of commentary. So I'm going to be able to break him in, see how he goes. Then starting tomorrow's games, Alex will be joined by John Cornell. Then we've got Scary, Mitch Pelham, and Seth Oster. You guys will be teaming up. Dustin Henshaw and Scary, Dustin and Mitch. Like a lot of Mitch Pelham tomorrow. Dustin Henshaw, absolute superstar as well. And then on day 3, on your Saturday, Chris Irvine with some Alex Cornell goodness, and then some Dustin and Danny McDevitt. That's going to be a good game as well. And then I'll be taking us away with the last couple of games on the Sunday. Yeah, it's going to be a great lineup, guys. You guys should hopefully have nothing but enjoyment ahead of you for your weekend, and hopefully you're wetting a brush, doing something productive with your time, apart from donating to an amazing charity. But which you should definitely do and win some awesome prizes.
Yeah. And every $30 gets you a raffle ticket. And I think there's another raffle coming up, probably not too far from now.
Yeah, are they doing one a round or are they doing one like every other hour?
I think it depends. That would be a question for the talking mirror,
Yep,
if they could talk to us.
the man in the mirror. It's our well,
Yeah.
beautiful. So Colin has
After this,
apparently.
there'll be announcements shortly for more prizes.
Yeah, it looks like we're into the wrap up. So this is Fred's turn 4. Look, all he needs to do is just disrupt the primary scoring from Hank and then play keep away, essentially. And then this game's pretty well in the bag, unfortunately. Yeah, I do think going first was just huge for Fred. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, getting that his secondary choices were all about taking the center and holding 3 objectives and playing that primary game, leaning into the obsec of his army, and that let him do that pretty handily. I don't know, yeah, because I don't think he's got the firepower to push back those raids. If Hank had gone first and was able to shove those midfield, I don't think he's got the damage output to really remove that many
Yeah,
wraith constructs.
100% he doesn't. So it would have been just Fred trying to get a toe onto those objectives every turn.
Yeah.
But mind you, like you put all the Phoenix Lords are obsec, aren't they? So
Yeah.
just like enough wraiths to make it hard for him to place a model plus a Phoenix Lord, and then it's yours. You can't they can't get it back. Yeah, so I think that would have been absolutely huge for Hank if he could have done it. I really want to know how well the Phoenix Lords have done because I haven't noticed them in this game, and I thought I would see them everywhere. Like Jane Zar would be knocking around in the top left, supported by Karandrus. Baharoth would be jumping up and getting down and doing all the dumb crap. I do see Baharoth on the bottom right though. I believe that's him there, the bottom right objective.
I think so. I mean, it looks like Eldar, and it makes me angry, so it's probably Baharoth.
Makes me angry too, mate. Makes me furious. Yeah. It would be a lot of crikeys. JK has asked if you can get Adam and Steve Joel together. That would be a lot of crikeys. Yeah, absolutely. What is Steve Joel should be here. We should absolutely have stood over that guy and made him rock up for charity hammer. He would have done it.
He probably would have.
He'd make us all look bad though.
He would sound a lot better than us. Let's put it that way.
That's putting it nicely. And yeah, he's got a little professionalism that I would dream of having. Is the way he presents.
Ooh.
Oh, you gonna read out that? We just got a final score from
Yep,
our
yep.
table 1.
80,
What is it, mate?
86 points to 70 points in Noah's favor.
Yeah, that's pretty much how
So,
we saw that going down. What was 86? So 16-point win.
Yep, sounds like it.
Sounds like better secondaries to me, and the bottom of turn is literally all I heard there. Yeah, I mean, well done to the Meatwall. Hashtag Meatwall. Pour one out for Meatwall. We may never see his kind again.
We will remember you fondly.
We will remember you. Someone has to pick up this mantle. somebody has to show up and be the meat wall that we deserve. What's the orc list in this lineup? Is that going to be meat wall enough for us?
It's no meat. It's
Oh,
all crunch.
it's mech wall.
Yeah.
Was it, yeah, Gorkanauts and Morkanauts and Death Dreads and stuff, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, you got Mega Dreads! Dude, I
Yeah.
love those models so much.
They are a lot of fun. I had a good time painting all those. Sad they're not going to be seeing the table with Sean, but I'm sure he's got some other good models to use. But just I wanted
Yeah,
Sean to play with
he's
my models.
proxied. Yeah, because he'd bless them. They'd play
Oh
well
yeah,
after that. Yeah,
yeah.
they'd like
That's the real reason to play in this event is to get the top players to bless your models.
to bless your models with their luck. It
Yeah.
it's absolute. People who may not think it's a thing, you're wrong. It's absolutely a thing. Good players somehow just roll better. Like, have you
Yeah.
met Nick? I've met Nick. That
The
guy,
amount of 9-inch charges they make consistently
dude,
is all you need to
dude.
see.
Nick is not okay. Also, the last game I played in the Art of War house was versus Richard, and it was a turn versus Necrons. It was my Dark Angels versus Necrons, and I literally had a good list into him. I actually had a good list, and then he proceeded to make. He failed two.
Wait, no. Let me guess. He made a bunch of 4-ups.
No. He made a bunch of charges and
Oh,
just
I
trapped
was
all
like,
my stuff in.
he's renowned for 4-ups.
Yeah, so he went first and just saturated the objectives. I hit him back pretty hard, and then he just charged onto all my home objectives with his, 40 warriors that kept coming back and a bunch of
Yep.
and his 3 units of wraiths. He failed 2 8-inch charges, but made 3 9-inch charges, and I was like, what?
Yep.
Yeah, a couple of those were box cars as well, and I was just like, this isn't okay. This is not okay. You wonder why he wins events. But no, he's just. I'm sassing him. He's a phenomenal player.
You got to give a little sass.
We gotta cut him down a
Reigning
little bit,
champ.
right? Oh, ooh. Okay, guys. So, um, the gentlemen on
Sure.
this table have pretty much seen into the future. They've scryed into the future and realized there is pretty much no chance that Hank can win this game. So we are going to call it for time, and we're going to switch over we're going to have a little 10-minute interlude. We're going to call this. What do you reckon Fred's predicted score is going to be at the end of this? Do you reckon?
Oh,
I'm thinking about
you and your
85.
predicted scores. I cannot predict as well as you can. He's got what 7 more points he can make up on primary. He's going to do that. Or no, yeah,
Yep.
7. So that'd be
Yep.
67. Tack on another 3 points for stranglehold. Well, he'll score at the end, so 6 points. So yeah,
I've got about a 72, I think.
yeah, I could see him getting 12, 13 more
Mm.
points. I don't know if he's going to get any more assassinate.
Um,
Maybe hold the middle and not fall back. So another 3 to
yeah.
5. Yeah,
Um,
I think 15 points is so putting him at 75 and then 85 for paint.
Hank's going to get about Ha- Hank's going to get about another 20. Hank can get like 23 on primary still. He can end on like 43, I
Yeah.
believe, if everything goes perfectly from here. But that no prisoner score, if it's accurate right now, won't give him enough extra. And scout the enemy behind enemy lines are looking like donuts or single digits. So, in my opinion, Fred's going to be winning this by somewhere around the 10 to 15 points level. So we're
Yep.
going to tune this one out. We're going to head over to a 10-minute interlude, and then you'll be back with Colin, who'll be doing a bunch of announcements and being his charming self. So we'll see you soon, guys, for round 2 of this best worst RTT of all time. Thanks for joining us.
Woo! That was fun, huh? Just, if you really were feeling like the old missions were what you liked, let's get you a little bit of a palate cleanser. Let's put some absolute trash on the table and see what it's all about. So, that's clearly what we're doing here. I gotta be honest, when I paired them, I probably should have considered the fact that guard army had no ability to kill that Ultramarine army. And that Elder army really struggled into those intercessors, but that's okay. Bad RTT is well underway. We're gonna go ahead and have Noah continue on, and Noah's going to play against the wonderful and always charming Fred. They're going to play at 3 o'clock. But next up, we've got ourselves with Matt Evans. Matt is playing what is effectively 8th edition Tyranids. He's got Swarmlord, a Malanthrope, 2 units of Stealers, 2 units of Devil Gaunts, 2 units of Hive Guard, and 2 units of Sky Slashers. End of flipping list. It is not good. It is from the Tyranid book, so it's pretty good. And he's playing against Mitch, who has got a Sisters of Battle list that is just not good, but it is a lot of bolters, which is probably not what he's looking for. And then on stream 2, we're going to have Sean Naden playing like 9 chonky robot orc bottles. That list is awful, by the way. And he's going to play against Tyler Bortel, and Tyler is playing Alpha Legion. And he has Cultists, and he has 3 Vindicators. No, Vindicators? Vindicators, thank you. Because 3 Vindicators would also be terrible. Also bad with 3 Vindicators. And Mitch does have a Vindicator, and he said, can I use the stratagem to trade it for a better assassin? And I said, no, you cannot. That's what I said. Okay, so that's what's about to happen here in just a little while. They're getting rotated out, hopefully behind me. I mean, it doesn't look like it, but, maybe. And I'm going to give some stuff away. So just a reminder, you can donate. You're going to win stuff. Let's give some stuff away right now, and then I'll remind you all how you do that. So earlier, I gave away a Beast Stega box set, like that big orc box set. Hey guys, orcs probably really good right now. I'm just saying, the orc changes pretty flippin' hot. So gave Bill Serwin. Sorry, Bill, if that's not how you say your last name. We'll just call you Bill Smith, and then it's easy. You win the Beast Snega box. So we'll get your address and we'll send that right out to you. Also, Dave McLeod has won the Army Painter Speed Paint box set, which is also a big chunky box of awesomeness. Additionally, Alexander White has won an Art of War Room subscription for a month. Now, those War Room subscriptions are a bonus thing. You can win those and another prize. But we're giving out one of those in each time slot for the extent of the weekend. So that's what we've given away as of right now. I have 37 more things to give away. 37. And then at the end, $1,200 gift card, Hammerhead Games, and separate grand prize, Sean Naden, who's wandering around behind me somewhere. He's a really good painter. You're going to send him some models. He's going to paint an army for you and send it back. I kind of wish I could win that. I think that sounds really, really fun. He asked, should I just give you an Eldar army that I've painted to give away? And I said, lots of people hate Eldar, so no, is what I said. So he's going to paint whatever army you want. He has made no commitment about how long that will take, but I'm sure that he'll get right on it. So, hey Josh, come sit down.
Hey, what's up?
Come sit down.
All right.
Hey guys, meet Josh.
Hello there.
Tell everybody about Joel Hammer while you're here.
Oh, awesome.
Go for it.
Spry the moment. So Joel Hammer is actually a tournament that I modeled after Charity Hammer some years ago. Colin does amazing work here, and it's honestly a huge blessing to be able to come and just help out here.
In the terrible weather.
In the absolutely awful weather.
Just the horrible weather.
It's
lovely.
So cold. It is awesome. It's really.
Is it
really
cold?
Nice. No.
Okay.
It's amazing. But
you're from Connecticut. I know that there's a lot of bad weather that lives there.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. We get a good variety.
Yeah, a good variety of terrible weather. So when's Joel Hammer? When is it?
So Joel Hammer this year is July 9th. Okay. You can tune in on twitch.tv/Team Battle Brothers.
Okay.
And we'll have all sorts of fun, silly shenanigans going on. All the proceeds in memory of my older brother Joel. We're sending them over to St. Vincent Special Needs School that's in Trumbull, Connecticut.
Wonderful.
So we'll be supplying, kids with wheelchairs and school supplies and all sorts of stuff that they may need. They do awesome work there. So just being able to help out as much as we can is going to be awesome. So
cool.
Yeah.
You're going to hang out with me till you're about to play. So we'll get you gone in a minute.
Outward
I did want to share with you guys, we always like to talk about this. Josh is our youngest member of Charity Hammer this year.
Indeed.
So the first year it was John, which is great. The second year, I guess this is the fourth year, so I'm forgetting one year. But last year it was Tyler and Lucas. Now we've got our boy Josh here. what is your favorite change from the data slate this morning?
Oh my gosh. Necron vehicles getting core.
Yeah.
I think that's hysterical.
Uh-huh.
The Silent King giving himself like full rerolls.
And just like resurrecting Menhirs?
Yeah. You're just
Yeah.
like, oh, like, I mean, you can come over and just resurrect. Yeah, one of the Menhirs is like, and I don't know how exactly that's going to work with like, say a Menhir dies, Silent King takes like 8 wounds, and then a Menhir comes back.
Yeah, John had the same question.
What?
Like now you've got, because now you have a situation where the Silent King has to finish taking the wounds.
Yep.
Has to.
And then
What I like about it, there's
Silent
two
King.
things I think are really big about that. One of which is that the Silent King is really a good shooting unit, but because it doesn't have rerolls normally, it just flubs sometimes. But if it gives itself full rerolls,
and that's true for combat too.
Yeah.
Like giving himself full rerolls to wound in combat is awesome.
Yeah. And then the other thing is that resurrecting that Menhir will shorten a charge.
Yep.
Which is also great tech. So, and now we've got the Boy King himself walking through. They can't see you.
I danced in the background.
He danced in the back. Oh, on the way in? Excellent. All right. Josh is going to go play some Outward Realms. We have a little mini Outward Realms tournament going on with really excellent 40K players that have not played Outward Realms before. Our individual streams are not up yet. There was a tech problem. They will be up before the GT. So for right now, you have 2 choices. 2. First, you can watch the thing you're watching right now, which will have commentary from Adam Camilleri and Seth Oster. And we'll jump back and forth between the 2 40K tables, or you can watch the Outward Realms YouTube channel, which we have a link all over the place, I hope. And Josh is going to be playing the Batra.
Yes, sir.
Which are really, they're like, if you guys liked Battletoads, the olds, let me speak to the olds for a moment. You remember Battletoads? These are space toads that play like Eldar.
Yep.
I'm just saying. And who are you
Fun
playing
boys.
against?
I'm playing Mitchell Hunter with I forget what the faction name is.
Okay.
They're big robot boys.
The AI.
The AI, yeah.
Yeah, they're called
the
yes,
AI.
they're called the Nightfall, and they're a artificial intelligence that would like to destroy Josh.
Indeed.
All right, go have fun, man. Thank you for stopping by.
Thank you.
And that is why we have an extra chair here. So when people walk in here to get coffee or snacks, I can ambush them and make them come talk to y'all. So we'll try to get literally everyone who's here. We'll try to get on at some point. We've now had Billy and John and Josh. That's 3 of like 30 something people. So moving right along. So what I'm going to do now is vamp. That's what they say in the business. And I'm going to try to entertain y'all while we get those games set up and ready to go. So those games are getting set up. They're getting deployed.